Marston's Domain.
Hey everyone, Marson here, and today I wanted to talk about Bowser's Fury because, whew, this looks incredible. So to start things off, the main thing that I noticed is that this clearly has elements of Odyssey in it. There's some form of inspiration from Odyssey, or just in general, because the movement and the camera looks like an absolute mix of Odyssey and 3D World, which I'm all for. I think that's amazing. But that was the first thing that really kind of stood out to me, besides the fact of just being completely blown away by the fact of how open this is. I absolutely was not expecting something this big. And in terms of what we saw, aesthetically, graphically, all that, it looks incredible. And we definitely cannot skip the fact that Bowser looks the most menacing he has ever looked in any game, in my opinion. Between how he looks and the song that was playing and the fire breath attack that he was doing, he looks so cool and just so menacing. I really can't get over. I'm watching the trailer again right now, and he just looks so intense. And the music, again, seriously, it's perfect for Bowser. And I think what's really cool is that I think a lot of people weren't even remotely expecting this, because the way they showed the teaser trailer at first, where they had Cat Mario just standing near what we now know as a cat bell, I feel like a lot of us just kind of expected that we would probably just be fighting Bowser again, with Bowser just being a big cat again, except probably just bigger. So it's really cool that the twist this time is that we're the huge cat now. I actually think that's really cool. And it's going to be fun to see how that battle ensues with Big Cat Mario and giant, intense, menacing Bowser. It's cool to see them take this into a more serious route. Well, I mean, you're still a big cat, so I mean, it's still kind of goofy. But with Bowser, he's just super serious. Whereas in 3D World, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but it's intense in how they do it, but it's not the same type of intense at all. But as much as we could probably praise this all day, I do want to give a couple things that I've noticed that I don't know how it's going to go. So for starters, I'm very curious as to if you are able to play this multiplayer. I have a feeling the only thing you'll be able to do is maybe someone can control Bowser Jr., but I have a very strong feeling that this is completely separated from 3D World. I actually don't even think you can access this in a 3D World save file. Like, I don't think this is going to be anywhere on the overworld map or anything. I think this is going to be a totally different thing you select when you start the game up. And with that, I have a feeling that it's going to be single player, which is totally fine. Totally fine. But when I saw Bowser Jr., I'm not going to lie, I was like, oh, I hope that's another character. But they really were kind of pointing out that Bowser Jr. just helps you, which is a little disappointing because it would have been fun to have such a different character in 3D World. But Bowser Jr. in this acts almost like Tails would have in the original Sonic games. At least that's the vibe this game gives me with Bowser Jr. I mean, Bowser Jr. seems like he does more, but just that overall, they're there to kind of assist you kind of thing. And the other thing that I have to say, which I feel like is going to make people think that I'm being a huge downer on this, because I'm really not trying to be, and it may be totally fine, and I may be completely wrong about this, and it ends up just not being what I'm about to say. I am afraid on how much content is actually in this. Now, that's not to say that I'm not going to enjoy it or have a fun time, because from watching this trailer, I think this game is going to make me feel the magic that I felt playing Odyssey, and the magic that I felt playing Odyssey, I had not felt since I was a kid. So it's still going to be a big deal, but from watching this, since it is a big open world, I think everything that's going to be done is in this world. I don't think there's anything you go inside and then you're in a totally different area. I think this is all done in this spot. And since it gives me Odyssey vibes, the way I'm thinking this is going to play out is it's going to be kind of like an Odyssey world plus like half a world. That's what it seems like to me. I hope I'm completely wrong and there's way more than that. But trying to look at the size of this, and also considering the fact that there seems to be a almost day and night type of thing that happens here, maybe it's kind of like two worlds then in Odyssey, but it's also just too tough to gauge. I mean, I really could be way off, but from watching this trailer, it looks as though you need to collect a certain amount of these emblem things, and then it probably turns to night, and then there's a certain mission thing you do at night, and then you're able to fight Bowser. But maybe there is more to this that we just don't know. It's tough to say. And that's why I almost don't even really want to talk about it, because I don't want to be a downer and I don't want to cause people to be like, dude, really? Like, that's what you're looking at? But I noticed it, so I had to bring it up. But I really want to make it clear, though, that even if I'm right and there's not a bunch of content in this, that doesn't change the fact that I'm going to absolutely love playing this. And I should clarify, when I'm saying tons of content, I just mean gameplay hours. Like, how long is it going to take us to beat this? Because we are still getting 3D World in this, so it's not like we're paying $60 for Bowser's Fury only. But I just find it really interesting that they even decided to do this. It makes me wonder what the backstory was to them making this. Was this supposed to be an Odyssey and it got cut? Was this really just for 3D World? Was this something that was going to be in 3D World and it got cut from that? I honestly have quite a bit of questions, because this mode seems very random. And I think with how cool it looks, it could push some sales. But in general, I don't see it as like, oh, tons of people are buying 3D World now because of Bowser's Fury. So it just raises some questions with me on how this started, why it started, and how it became what it is. Because with them deciding to make this big open world and have the camera move the way it does and not have it be like 3D World and how that camera works, it's just really interesting to me. But again, final thoughts. I think this looks incredible. The music and just Bowser in general, to me, is just going to be so cool to experience. And just overall, it's going to be fun to experience. I mean, just watching them going through the water, just doing that looks like fun. So I by no means am not excited or anything. It's just one of the things I noticed was, you know, how long is it going to take us to beat it? But that does not change how I feel about this mode, though. I think I'm going to absolutely love it. And I hope I'm wrong about how long it ends up taking me to beat. I hope that it's a beefy amount of content. And if it's not, it's not. I think it's still going to have that magic that Odyssey had. So that's all I really have to say about this. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think about all this. Are you excited for Bowser's Fury? Are you getting 3D World on the Switch in general? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and want to support my content, feel free to subscribe. And until next time, I'll see y'all later. Take care, everyone.